Amitabh John. Pura naam.
An on-screen presence that captured a million hearts. A charm that enveloped an entire nation. A voice that resonates through every Indian household.
जी नमस्कार, मैं अमिताभ बच्चन बोल रहा हूँ, कौन बनेगा करोड़पति से।
Generation after generation, a journey well traversed. They said he wasn't the kind heroes were made of. But Amitabh Bachchan went on to become the single most powerful symbol of Indian cinema. Now, for the first time, Amitabh Bachchan unreveals stories and feelings that go beyond celluloid. As he opens up on personal tragedies and political ambitions and much more on Frankly Speaking with Arnab Goswami.
Mr. Bachchan, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Arnab.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me. Thank you.
It's the third time, Mr. Bachchan, that I'm interviewing you on Frankly Speaking. And
Yes, it's been-
with each time, I feel strange because whenever I do an interview, I try hardest to tell myself that I need to be detached from the subject. It's very difficult to be detached from you because I am your biggest and most unabashed fan.
Thank you.
I hope it doesn't come across.
No, not at all. It'll be fine.
You are in a mood to talk. I want to
Yes,
take you
of
back.
course.
First of all, 70 years, Mr. Bachchan.
Yeah.
The angry young man is 70 years. So, what does this milestone mean to you?
You know, I always feel that quite a lot of fuss is made about these 50s and 60 and 70 years, but somehow it's been a socially accepted norm that, you know, these are dates which are important for one. But I just feel the same as I was, many years ago. But, you know, you have to respect some of the respect that others give you at this age, so I acknowledge that. But for me, I just feel it's another year that has gone by. And every time one reaches a certain milestone in age, which is brought to the notice of the public, and, you know, there's a lot of festivities and whatever acknowledgement of it. One of the obvious things is, you know, how do you look back at those 70 years, and which is something that kind of answers your question. But I feel very awkward looking back. I just feel that I would be more interested in what's going to happen tomorrow. Most of the time, I don't even remember or not try and forget it deliberately, but yes, I don't quite remember how things happened or what happened. There's a vague idea of, you know, how my life progressed, and at the time a particular incident happened, or there was a controversy, or there was a period of happiness or success. Yes, those remains, but very briefly. I've never felt that it should remain a part of me as I move along, so that I can reflect back on it. Yes, I may have learned a few things from whatever happened, and but I don't want to insist on that, and I don't want to stress on that, or I don't want to use that as an instrument to get back at somebody. I think that just looking forward to what's going to happen.
Do you look back? People, you know, they open up their albums sometimes, look back at old pictures.
I don't have
Events.
too many old pictures, but I do come across people who collect these things, and then I'm very surprised. In fact, just yesterday, I was very late at night. I'm on Twitter, and and I write a blog, and I'm on Facebook. On Twitter, somebody has compiled almost all my films, just clips from all my films. And I was looking at it with great wonder, because I said, oh gosh, that was really bad. But you know, that's the time I was able to look back. There are many incidents that I saw in that clip which I can't remember. When did I shoot this? Or what was I doing when I was doing this? And things like that. The more recent ones, yes, you do remember that. But some of the ones that have really gone by, you don't remember. However, there are some incidents which are, related to your childhood. They remain more permanently in your mind than perhaps if you ask me what were you doing at 6 o'clock in the evening yesterday, I would find it hard to describe to you.
Mr. Bachchan, let's a few questions. What if Zanjeer had not happened? What if Prakash Mehra had not cast you in Zanjeer as Inspector Vijay Khanna? What would have happened in your view?
Yeah, I think I was mentally prepared to, accept it as a failure. I think I'd reached the very last project that I had on hand, and Zanjeer was the last one. I had no other films, I had no other plans. There was nobody that was casting me in any film. I really don't know. I didn't want to go back because I couldn't. I couldn't go back because I felt it would be a great embarrassment to go back again to Calcutta and look for a job. Having left that place and perhaps faced a lot of, cynical, sarcastic remarks that, he's going to join the movies and stuff like that. But I guess I really can't say what would have happened. I really don't know, because I was on the edge of my experiment, if you can call it, with films and cinema. I had no other projects. Nobody was willing to work with me at that time. And this was the very last project. And I internally used to think that if this didn't work, then it would be the end.
What if superstardom had not happened? Because 1973 you got Zanjeer.
Yeah.
You became a complete superstar. What if Amitabh Bachchan had not become a superstar?
Yeah, I still don't
Then
believe
what?
that I'm one.
You're being polite. But
No, I'm not being polite, because I have never contributed to these wonderful epithets that have been put. But I would look upon myself as being just another actor in the film fraternity, and just being able to do and deliver what is asked of me to do. These tags have no meaning for us, at least not for me.
But you had a series of movies, in that period, that decade, Mr. Bachchan. So you can reject the phrase superstar. I completely acknowledge, and I think that it is your magnanimity and your modesty which makes Amitabh Bachchan always reject the phrase superstar. However, for the vast millions of your admirers, you are the greatest superstar. So, Mr. Bachchan, can we have a slight disagreement on that?
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. I will accept that yes, those films did well. But may I just say that during the time that they were released, or during the time that perhaps they were succeeding to the extent they were, I was not aware of the extent of effect it was having on the people.
Why did you then take a break from acting? Because, Mr. Bachchan, that was such an interesting, your observation about how in that one decade you never quite understood the depth of people's feelings for you. And then these things happened. This movie, Coolie, happened. And you were also diagnosed at that point of time with myasthenia gravis.
That was the very next year.
Which weakened you physically.
Yeah.
And there are some, some narrations of how Amitabh Bachchan was in that time, which said, I have one narration, if I may read out.
Yeah, sure.
His illness made him feel weak both mentally and physically, and he decided to quit films and venture into politics. At this time, he became very pessimistic, expressing concern with how a new film would be received, and stated before every release, "Ye film to flop hogi," or this film will flop. Did this period, 1982, your injury, till the point to time join politics, you're being diagnosed with this disease, affect you somewhere? Because I find it very strange, Mr. Bachchan, that at that time when you were at the height of your powers, you just left it and took a break and went into politics. Tell me about that period, making that shift. Why did you make that shift?
Well, soon after the accident, you know, there was a huge sense of youthful bravado, if you may want to call that. The very place where I had been, in a sense, felled down, I told Manmohan Desai, I want to get up from that same place whenever we shoot it and complete that shot, because that sequence had been incomplete. They had planned something very soft and gentle and not give me much strain, but call it youthful bravado, whatever it was. I just wanted to get up from that very table where I had received the injury and complete the shot and get up and punch the guy back or whatever it was. And we did that. But soon after that, in the very next year, a whole sequence of physical, disabilities happened. Almost at the same location, almost with the same director, Manmohan Desai, shooting for Mard in Mysore, which was very close to Bangalore, where the first incident had taken place. I suddenly developed myasthenia gravis. I was coming back from the shooting and I was climbing up to my room, and I just collapsed because I couldn't walk. And I was wondering what was happening to me. And I called my doctor and he says, just drop everything and come back to Bombay. While I was in hospital, I was still unsure of what this meant. But when I had a bit of treatment done and I came home, I spent many days by myself. And I felt that perhaps, Providence doesn't want me to continue. And that is why these disabilities or these accidents are coming across to me. And so I said, well, if Providence doesn't want me to go, and these are indicators of that, then perhaps I must stop working. I took a break to recover from all this, from myasthenia and all these injuries, and I went out of the country just to recuperate. And when I came back, I came to Delhi because I wanted to be with my parents. And the very next day, Mrs. Gandhi was assassinated. And I just, it was, like a series of shocks coming one after the other. And I just felt that because we had been friends from the time of my parents, had been a close association. At that time, obviously, we were with the family and to lend our support. And that's the time when Rajiv ji asked me to fight an election. And I just felt that this was an emotional decision. It was not deliberate. I knew nothing about politics, and I was put up against a huge adversary in H. N. Bahuguna, who'd never ever lost an election in his life. Yeah. I was not sure what I was doing.